Thank you for coming back from our replay reviews. My name is Leah.
And my name is Kathy.
We are two friends who are here to replay, review, and analyze your favorite video games. And since Kathy has never seen the games before, it helps me view them through her fresh eyes, almost like I'm discovering them again for the first time.
We hope it'll be a similar experience for you. It's a new game.
Episode 7, Mafia II. Are you excited to go back to Mafia?
I didn't know where it was going to go. I didn't know if it was going to be directly like Tommy's Descendants or it's like a prequel to it. So like I don't really know what I'm expecting, and if it's like a new game, I'm worried it's going to be the same plot. And or I'm just going to be comparing it constantly to Mafia 1. I kind of like where it left off and I want to leave it untouched. So I'm kind of nervous about Mafia 2.
Agreed. I hadn't played it before. I will say it took me 2 go-arounds to get it done. I started playing it a while ago and I was like...
You didn't like it at all.
Can't do it. I don't know if I've ever seen a worse remaster. Honestly.
I feel like the graphics could have been better if you're going to be dumping that much effort into it.
The worst thing is the audio. The random points where the audio is just at full blast and tries to break your TV speakers. It almost gave me a heart attack. I tried to edit it out as much as I could in the gameplay videos, so you're welcome, everybody. But truly, poorly done. But we can't hold that against the story, so should we do the out-of-context summary points?
Let's hear it.
In this episode, are those sirens or cats? Is that little Stewie's grandpa? And what is shuffling around Empire Bay, because those are not normal footprints. Alright, so to summarize our first scene, we meet Vito Scaletta, born in Sicily in 1925. After struggling for a time, his family decided to move to the US, but things don't get much better. Vito ends up being arrested and sent to fight in World War II before making it back to the States.
One thing we want to also include is that he's arrested because of a person named Joe, his quote-unquote friend.
Oh, Joe. Are they supposed to be similar in age? Well, first of all, before we get to Joe, we see little Stewie, or I guess it's his grandpa. Should his name be Rateo?
Okay. I was not expecting that.
He is part of the nightmare that Vito's family is enduring when they expected the American dream. Although...
Wait, sorry, I completely misunderstood you. I thought you were naming Lil Stewie's, like, the rat we saw in this game, Mateo. For some reason,
Yeah, I did. Rateo.
Rateo. Okay, I thought you said Mateo, and I was like, wait a second, are we talking about a human or that? I'm like, I got so lost there for a minute.
Rateo.
Okay. Okay, keep going. Sorry.
I feel like Vito's complaining about like the state of this neighborhood they're in, but I kind of want to talk about his dad, who seems shitty, right? He blew all of his money. Every penny he earns, he spends on alcohol. I think we found the problem.
Yeah. I did have a question, though. Was he an alcoholic before immigrating here or into the U.S.? Or was it a recent thing? Because if he was then I mean, they should have seen the issue with them going almost homeless back then in Italy. That's not going to change.
Right. You can't sail away from alcoholism. So you mentioned Joe, who Vito meets in school. And they start a life of crime together, which leads to Vito's arrest and time in the military, which takes place in 1943. He says he's 18 when he gets arrested. He looks at least 27, if not 37.
That's something else I want to complain about that graphics is everyone looks so old. Like
even the children.
Right? The children, like he looks like he's wearing a mini tuxedo, but Vito, and you'll see this later, but like at one point Joe just looks 50 and like Vito looks 40. They are like, the age and the graphics is something that's bugging me a lot.
Yeah, like they're supposed to be similar age, right? Because they met in school, so at least within like 5 years, I would assume. He looks like he's at least 15 years older than Vito. I don't understand age in this game. So we are now at Chapter 1, The Old Country. Sicily, July 1943. Rateo, we see Rateo again.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I have to use a Gatling type gun, which we all know I despise. Anything before that portion or before the tank blows up, Vito?
No.
So basically, we're fighting, right? And then a tank blast throws Vito and some other soldiers. Soon, some Italian soldiers come to make sure that he and the others are dead. But he's saved when someone distracts the attention of the Italian soldiers. This person is Don Cullo, the head of the Sicilian mob. He told the Italians to surrender. Vito says, why? Because he told them to.
So, what kind of reputation does Don Carlo have that, like, even U.S. soldiers would know about his reputation? How is he so important?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like we need to know some, like, Italian World War II history that we're missing.
Yeah, we're definitely missing some of that. I just don't know if he's going to be important because Vito is going to join his mafia or Vito's going to go against him.
I think it impacts Vito.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We'll say that. I think it impacts Vito and his view on the mafia. Okay, so Chapter 2, Home Sweet Home. 2 years later, Empire Bay, February 8th, 1945. Some injuries that Vito sustained lead to him being given a month's leave at home. Joe is waiting for him at the train station. Vito questions how he knew he'd be there, and he says, I have my sources.
I don't know if I like that. I don't like Joe being back in the picture.
I don't either.
Joe is what got Vito here, and Vito
Yeah.
still trusts him?
Right. And why is he here? What are his sources? And this is maybe one of the worst audio issues. Vito comes walking up and Joe's like, hey, Vito! Like, so loud.
I needed you to
shudder.
actually scream that into the microphone, Leah.
I screamed it with my body, but not my voice. Too bad we don't record ourselves. They get in Joe's car, and Vito's like, nice car. And Joe says, comes with the territory. Joe is seeming kind of iffy so far. Thoughts?
I don't like Joe. He's not good news. He was a bad idea back then, and he's going to be a bad idea right now.
They chat in the car when Vito references Don Cullo, and Joe says he knows guys like him over here. You work for them, you're set. You fuck with them, you die.
So, is Joe working with, like, Don Carlo's U.S. branch of his mafia, or... I think there's a tie. I just don't know what it is.
He says guys like him, so I don't think... I think he knows who he is based off of his
Okay.
connections here, but I don't think that they're related necessarily, other than just being
Yeah.
in the Italian mob. So they grab a drink, where Joe is surprised to hear Vito has to go back to war. I don't feel like that should be a shock to anybody.
Yeah, which my next question is then why is Joe not going to war? I feel like there was probably a draft and a lot of young men had to go to war. So how did Joe get out of it?
Well, Vito wasn't drafted. It was that or prison, basically.
Okay.
Because he got arrested. But still, how has he evaded arrest?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But Joe makes a call while Vito makes weird faces at a woman at the bar. Joe, however, has pulled some strings to get Vito to stay home. They just need to pick up his forged discharge papers.
Which is bad news because I think it's going to bite him in the butt.
Vito questions it a little bit, but not enough.
And this is something I have to say more about later, but I don't like how naive Vito is with just going with the flow, not questioning things, not really relying on integrity of being like, hey, I can't do these forged documents. I'm just going to hope I don't get shot again. I know there's some hesitancy. I understand why he doesn't want to go back to the army.
Yeah. And we'll get into this throughout the episodes for this game, but my biggest issue is I don't like Vito.
Really? Already?
Yeah. I just don't care about Vito.
I could see that. At this point in the game, I can't really say, but it starts to form my opinion.
Vito finally says, oh, I guess I should go home. See my mother, my sister. Should have done that immediately, Vito. Strike one.
Yeah.
But he's like, it's okay, Joe, I don't need a ride. I want to walk. Cut to a cab that Vito climbs out of.
They force you to ride the cab. Or they're just story writing. It's not very consistent. I do have a problem with the storyline, which, again, we'll go into some more later.
Yeah. I mean, could Joe not have dropped him off there? Anyway. So he walks a little bit through the alleyways to his home, his family's apartment. Someone throws a vase out of a window or something. And then a cat hisses at us. Anything before he reunites with his family?
I forgot to add this. So, this was during the bar scene. I guess we can cut it over. But I don't like the look between Joe and that lady at the end, which that lady looks 50. But there's something, and I don't know what it is. I'm worried that she's going to be either like a witness or help Joe blackmail Vito in the future. I know she ends up being a prostitute, but still, I don't like that look between the two of them. Like, she looks like she's scamming both Joe and Vito.
I have to wonder if there was some cut content or cut scene with her, because she'll pop up a couple times, but she doesn't matter at all.
Okay.
She could not be here and the game would be exactly the same.
Okay.
But they set her up a couple times where you think that there's going to be more. And maybe there's side content I didn't do. I don't know. Why is she here? Vito reunites with his mother and sister, Francesca. They sit down to some plates of soup. Is that what you saw?
At first, I thought it would be like really thick soup or like a stew that you just eat the meats off, but then that didn't look like it. And so, yeah, I think it's plates of soup.
Also, is that Chef Boyardee hiding in the background? At 1845?
Open.
Look at him.
Oh, right there in the back.
They've got the Chef Boyardee raviolis.
Yeah.
So after they eat soup plates, Vito heads to bed. Any other notes from scene 1 for you?
Nope.
Okay, so scene 2, to summarize it, Vito learns his father left the family in debt, and he's desperate to pay it off as soon as possible, which pushes him deeper into unsavory activities, despite his mother's warnings. So, to start off the scene, some Vito hate from me. I just hate that he wakes up in the morning, and his first thought is, this isn't gonna cut it. I have to find my own place to stay. Buddy should be ecstatic to be home. Other men are dying while you're deserting and complaining about having your own bedroom in your family's apartment. Shut up.
Right. And it looks like Frankie doesn't even have her own room. And so,
I know.
What are you complaining about? You're alive. This is the start where I'm like, okay, maybe he's going to redeem himself, but I'm feeling some ungratefulness coming from him already.
And I know he's young, but come on.
Everyone is suffering. Like, the fact that your sister has to deal with owning a loan shark, and here he's just, I mean, he was in war, I get that. But coming back into it and just like, I need to move out too. Maybe save up money to help your sister out.
And he was not, it was not innocence that got him sent to war either. So
yeah, let's not forget he was the one who earned himself some prison time.
Yeah, you should be in prison, not at home. So shut up. Quit complaining. Anyway, let's calm down. While Vito's mother is glad that Joe took care of it, as Vito says, she's still wary of him spending time with Joe. She asks him to go a different route and ask for a job where his father had worked, with someone named Papalardo. She says, promise me you'll go talk to him today. Does he, Kathy?
No, because he's just... he doesn't listen, and it pisses me off.
Okay, the guy in the hallway. Mike Monte, however you want to say it. He's snooping on us, or somebody.
His reaction of just slamming the door is not the best.
I don't trust someone who quickly slams the door.
Me neither.
You're feeling guilty about something, Mike. So he leaves to meet up with Joe, and on the way, he witnesses a man hassling Francesca. He fights him off, and then Frankie comes clean, saying that their father took money from a loan shark before he died. They have to pay it back by the end of the week or the debt increases.
I feel like it's so unfair for Frankie and her mom to have to deal with her dad's terrible decision-making skills.
How much money was it, Kathy?
Was it $2,000?
$2,000. So, I mean, I think that this is the one saving grace for Vito, right? Like, we can understand him needing to pay this money back, and that's why he does some of the illegal activities that he will do shortly. But you could stop at any time, right? Once you get 2,000, I think he ends up with at least 400 by the end of this game or this episode.
The other thing is, I don't understand why he couldn't just borrow some money from Joe. It's not like Joe's
right
in a drought of money.
We get to Joe's building, and there's like she looks like a lunch lady, but she's like a janitor, landlord, I don't know. She's scrubbing the floor all the time. Vito asks her where Joe's apartment is, and she points the way. And she seems to have a little animosity towards Joe, which I'm going to take her side on this without even asking questions. And then when Joe lets Vito inside, like, okay, the lady is a little unpleasant, but do we need to pretend to jerk it at her?
Joe just pisses me off. Everything I know about Joe, I don't like, and I will always be on Joe's enemy's side.
It's back. The elusive FBM. The full booty moment. It's literally the definitive edition. FBM definitive edition.
Why do they need it? I don't understand why. Why do we care if we get booty in this game? Why write it into this game? Just open the door, Joe. You don't need to make that jerky motion. You don't need to show that you're able to get to prostitutes with you.
And why does Vito walk in and just pick up the underwear that's on the floor? Why would you touch that?
Keep your hands to yourself, Vito.
Anyway, Joe asks the ladies to leave so that they can chat. Joe says Vito can stay with him as long as he needs, and that he'll hook him up with higher-paying work. The two then head out to get the discharge papers.
Joe just needs to shut his mouth. Well, one, he has a joke saying like, oh, do you know what time it is? Time to get your own car. Dude, Vito just literally came back to the U.S.
And his family has debt.
Right?
Getting a car is not at the top of the list. So they're heading to this guy, Giuseppe, to get the discharge papers, and he also has lockpicks, which they're going to buy so that Vito can steal a car for himself, because we've learned nothing.
Why is Vito just so gung-ho about committing crimes?
He just listens to everything Joe says, which irritates everything out of me.
Are you stupid? Not you,
Seems
but
like
Vito.
it. When Joe's like, oh, you can get lockpicks, he's like, it's easy. I do it all the time when I lock my keys in the car. How often is he locking his keys in his car? To where you need to buy a set of lockpicks.
Or maybe just have a second set of keys. that might help things out. I don't know. I'm just putting ideas out there.
Just another thing to hate about Joe. Okay, but Giuseppe's hands. He's like, his hands are not hands, they're claws.
They could have fixed that when they were making this edition.
And then I've noticed it a few times, but walking out of Giuseppe's is when I see the footprints. They're like this far apart from each other.
He waddles. That's what he does.
Anyway, I'm suspicious. I need to know who's leaving those footprints. So they pick up the discharge papers, they steal a car. Joe says that they should then head to Mike Bruski, who might have some work for Vito.
During the car ride, Joe has these disgusting pickup lines, and they just have to stop. I mean, they obviously don't work, because when Vito asks if they work, he just doesn't answer.
Silence. They're not even clever. Like, there's nothing about them.
These earn a kick to the balls. This is that kind of pickup line.
But Kathy, Joe is so disgusting. At the end of this pickup line conversation, he's like, well, when you measure 7 soft, it doesn't take a lot of convincing, if you catch my drift. There's no drift to catch. You said everything.
Yeah.
Like, we
You
get it.
disgusting pig. It's an insult to pigs. I think someone needs to just chop his dick off. That was aggressive.
Moving on. Turns out Bruski's work is just car theft. But before we leave, Joe gives us a gun and we're gonna do some target practice, and I'm sorry. Am I not hitting the tires?
You're so mad about that.
Apparently I just needed to walk up closer. I don't know.
But also, again, why is Vito so easily accepting weapons? Like, he doesn't know if the gun is legal or not.
His reaction is just, nice.
Oh my god, Vito, you're pissing me off already.
So he leaves to go steal this car. Things get a bit hairy. He's able to succeed and brings the car back to Bruski, where he makes his $400, 100 of which Joe keeps for being the middleman. But real quick, so earlier, Bruski got a greasy handprint on Joe's coat, right? Mm-hmm. And then when Vito comes back with the car, it cuts to Bruski cleaning, in quote-unquote, Joe's coat. And I swear he's purposefully cleaning around the grease stain and avoiding it just to be a dick. And I need to show you. Look at this guy. He's not on the grease spot.
That's kind of like the equivalent of putting sunblock on someone's back and making a dick shape.
And then they head back to Joe's, and Vito sleeps on his kitchen couch, which is a piece of furniture that I wouldn't have in my kitchen. To summarize our third scene, Vito tries honest work for all of about 3 minutes before doubling down on less savory but higher paying jobs. So Chapter 3, Enemy of the State. We're at Joe's apartment, February 10th, 1945. Kathy.
Is this about how he answers the phone?
Yeah.
Why? He picks up the phone without knowing who's on the other end and goes, Joe's Pleasure Place, to his mom! His mom's on the other side of the phone. Ah! Why is this
Oh.
Why did they write the story like that? Like, what prompted the game writers to be like, you know what we should do? We should say Joe's Pleasure Place and then make it be his mom. Why?
Who would you even be saying that to where it lands, though, is my question. But second of all, she had no idea where Vito was, and she was worried about him. Vito, come on. She asks him again to please talk to Papa Lardo at the docks, so Vito drives to the port and meets him. He goes by Derek. His associate Steve shows Vito around. The job for the day is loading a truck.
I don't like the way Steve is just looking at things.
At things? You mean the Playboy magazine?
Well, no. Like, I just don't like Steve. One, he's looking at Playboy magazines, but two, he's like making eye contact with Derek, which, where did the name Derek come from?
Also, does Derek not have teeth? Because I know he's not actually chewing that steak with that, like, he's just doing that.
He's eating like a child.
It's no wonder it takes him all day to finish it. I wanted to finish the job and get my 10 honest dollars. I wanted to load all these crates into this truck. And it takes a long time. Each one takes like 30, 45 seconds. It takes a long time. But Vito's like, no, I'm done with this shit. And so then he just like storms out of the warehouse. And his pissy attitude rubs Steve the wrong way. He says, don't show your face around here again.
Rubs me the wrong way, too.
This is where I wrote, Vito's kind of a bitch.
I would disagree.
In his heated state, he mentions Joe, who Steve has heard of, and he asks Vito to come follow him back to Derek's office. And then when they walk in, Derek's like, what's going on? And Steve's like, this one don't like manual labor. And then Derek's like, what the fuck?
Why are they making them talk so slow? Like, it's not slow, but it's not natural.
They remind me of the SDWDOs from Outlast. They kind of talk in that slow, just, yeah. It creeps me out a little bit.
I don't like it.
Derek needs to verify that Vito does in fact know Joe. So he's gonna call him and then takes out a gun and places it on his desk facing Vito in a pretty obvious threat. And he's like, he might not be home. That wouldn't be good. So, what? Is he just gonna kill Vito if Joe doesn't answer his phone?
Like, what's the point of pretending? So what, you're gonna just outright murder a man knowing that he has family and they're gonna come look for him?
But after vetting Vito, thankfully Joe does answer, Derek sends him out to do some light extortion. Vito collects the money, beats up a guy, and then Derek informs him that Joe called and asked Vito to meet him at Freddy's.
I do have a question. So the whole reason why he's here is because of Vito's mom saying that, oh, it's a good way. And it's because of what his dad did before he died, right? Does that mean his dad was either doing some sketchy stuff too, like some illegal things? Or do you think his dad was just doing the boring $10 an hour hard labor?
This second job that he gets, the extortion thing, is out of his connection to Joe.
Oh, okay. So it's not because he would get offered.
Not
okay.
as far as we know.
Okay, that makes sense.
Are we ready for scene 4? The final scene. Alright, so Joe introduces Vito to a wise guy who gives Vito a job that skyrockets in terms of riskiness. So Vito heads to Freddy's to meet Joe as requested. Joe says, remember the wise guys we used to see as kids? The guy we're meeting here is one of them. His name's Henry Tomasino. I think he's got something big for us. Reactions to this?
It's not good news.
Did Vito agree to being, like, involved in this?
I feel like we're missing something, but I'm sure Vito, by showing up, is equivalent to I'm all in.
We meet Henry, and his job is breaking into a federal building and then breaking into a safe inside the federal building to steal gas stamps, which are in very high demand. And apparently it's all on Vito because Henry has got another job for Joe.
I'm worried that Joe and Henry are setting up Vito. Coming from Henry's perspective, this is the first time you're working with Vito, someone completely new, even though Joe is vouching for him. So why would you put that much trust into Vito?
Yeah. To send him alone is kind of odd. He does say he wants this to be a clean job. If you kill anybody, your cut drops by 1/3. He says that one of their men has a sister who works in the building and sends Vito to go get some information out of her. Reactions to Marie.
Why does she agree so easily?
Marie doesn't care at all. She just wants a ride to the hospital to visit her sister. That's all she could leverage out of this deal. He does drive her to the hospital. She fills him in on the ins and outs. But taking a step back. It's pretty evident that I've been crashing in that car a lot, right? It looks a little worse for wear. And if I were Marie, no way in hell I'm getting in a car that looks like that.
No.
So after dropping her off, he runs across to the federal building and sneaks his way on inside.
Vito uses his newly learned pickpocketing skills to... Not pickpocketing skills, but lockpicking skills.
We got there.
Yeah. Lockpicking skills to open the safety box, but in doing so, he does not realize there's a freaking red blinking light above the box. Just, Vito, are you so stupid?
He's blind.
Oh my gosh. I feel like he does deserve to get shot the first time, even though it was unfair for the police to literally be on you the moment you open the door.
How'd they teleport? I was doing so good sneaking around this building, and then all of a sudden there's a cop right behind me after 0.5 seconds of the alarm going off. I don't buy it.
That's a glitch.
He eventually gets out with the stamps and heads back to Freddy's. However, the stamps expire tomorrow. Henry's not too happy about it, but he tells Vito that he has to get them all sold at gas stations before midnight. Otherwise, they're out of luck. So he sells them all, then heads back to Joe's kitchen couch for the night.
I don't understand how, one, the stamps are expiring the following day, yet they're kept in the safe. Vito is just being so stupid with not seeing the light, doing what someone says immediately, takes a legal weapon, and isn't even aware that he's taking something that can easily trace back to him.
He hasn't got a thought in that head. Thoughts on part 1?
I think I have to do some quick comparison to Mafia 1 because that's why I was kind of worried about this game was if they're going to ruin the first game, if it's a continuation of it, which at this point I don't know if Vito is related to Tommy in any way. In terms of the plot, though, I don't really... And it's a character thing, too. I don't like how easily Vito agrees into the life of crime. It's not even just him being naive, but he's so... I don't know if stupid's the right word. No sense of, like, morality and ethics. Like, he doesn't question, like, oh, I shouldn't do some more, like, crime-related activities because I could go to jail. I learned my lesson. Or I need to be there for my mom and my sister. I mean, that alone is enough reason. Tommy at least had, like, he really didn't want to go, but he fought it, but then he ultimately had to do it. Vito here is just be like, let me join you guys. Let me start committing as many crimes as I want, even though I probably don't need to. He's not going to have much of a redemption arc. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm worried about how this game's going to go. I'm worried about the plot because I want to see some more push and pull, but we don't see that.
And I get it, and I kind of like it that he's just young and caught up in stuff. Like, he's a bad boy, right? And he's not really thinking. And I kind of like that take in a main character because usually it is someone a little bit more like Tommy who has, you know, some conflicting morals. But so far, we're really not seeing that with Vito. And it seems like he's just not thinking and he's just charging ahead, maybe out of desperation. But it's a lot harder to find things that are likable about him. But we'll see as the game goes on if his morality enters into the equation a bit more or if he starts maturing a bit more and understanding the gravity of what he's doing. But very different character from Tommy, for sure.
Yeah. And I know this is part 1, so I might be judging him pretty harshly. But we'll give him a chance next part.
Yeah, and I didn't really enjoy playing this game, to be honest, but I have enjoyed it a lot more as I watch it, to edit it and watching it with you. So I enjoy the story, I enjoy the game, I just think this should not be the definitive edition, is what I will say. Part 1, we're a little unsure, but we're curious to see where things go.
Audacity on 1, 3, 2, 1.
Thank you for listening, and don't forget to send in any questions, comments, or game suggestions. You can find all our contact info on our website, replayreviewspod.com, or contact us directly through our site.
Did we completely miss something? Are we way off the mark? Or you just want us to take a deeper look at anything from the game? We'll tackle any topics you all want to hear in our season wrap-up episode.
We also have a Reddit where we discuss anything we're curious about. Go take a look and let us know what you're thinking. Our theme music is Condemned by Eggy Toast. They'll play you out, and we'll be back next week.